Hey y'all, welcome to your bonus of the Feel Good Sales Sequence. So it's going to be a lot of S's, I'm just warning you. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on me and what sales experience I got. Before I was a business owner, I had zero sales experience. And so I knew that was something that I needed to do better with. And so I hired a sales coach and I spent 5 figures over the course of 6 months getting my sales stuff together. And while it was very, very helpful, I definitely have had to tweak a few things here and there to help support what feels good to me. So I hope that you find this helpful. And again, I encourage you to tweak wherever necessary because I really, truly believe in the power of choice. You'll probably hear me say that in every training, but I truly do believe in it. So take what I'm saying and try it out and then see what needs to be tweaked to fit you and your personality, the way you work, all that stuff. So the first thing is I'm going to run through the 5 S's. So we have similarity, we have struggle, we have sponge, we have suggestion, and we have serve. So those are the 5 S's, and that is the order in which you go through the sales sequence when you are on the phone with a potential client. So as we know, it's a lot more comfortable, at least it is for me, or now it isn't per se, but sales is really something that feels good to me. But before, I was super great at selling myself as a part of someone's team. Because you can really build the value of, no, I'm literally doing this for you and I'm taking it off your plate every single month. So I felt like selling myself one-on-one for projects would actually be really difficult because I'm not there every single month taking stuff off their plate. So, but I'm going to tell you that it actually is pretty similar. So just brace yourself for nothing really being all that different, just a few tweaks here and there. And again, take notes, recognize what feels good, what feels icky, and go with it. So the first S is similarity. You want to find what is similar between you and your potential client. So I am a total sleuth. I ninja stalk people. I am a total creep, and I will shout this to the rooftops. Everybody knows. So I will look up the potential client on Instagram or Facebook or whatever I can get my hands on and find something that we are connected in. Maybe they've lived in a state that I've also lived in. Maybe they also are a dog mom. Maybe they went on vacation to Costa Rica like I did. Maybe they also live a gluten-free lifestyle. Like all these different things just in life, right? It doesn't even have to be business related, but I want to find something that is similar to us so that when I get on the phone, the very first thing I'm saying is, hi, Susie Q. I'm so excited to be on this call today. Girl, I'm just going to be real honest. I totally creeped you on Instagram, and I saw that you actually did a half marathon last July in New Orleans. I actually did a half marathon, my first and my last, in New York City. It was an all-women's marathon. It was super dope. Like, how did you feel afterwards? And we'll go back and forth about half marathons for a little while. So by a little while, I would say about 3 to 5 minutes of the similarity period. So you, again, want to find a way for you to connect. Then from there, whatever she's talking about, oh yeah, it was crazy, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll say, that is so awesome. Like, again, kudos to you for doing that because this girl is done with half marathons. So I know that you didn't come on here to talk about half marathons the whole time. I know that you are truly struggling with something and I want to know what that is. So why did you reach out to me? What's going on? Tell me all about it. Like super cash, super chill. And I just basically open up the lines for them to just like word vomit to me, which is exactly what they do. They word vomit, oh my gosh, my team, or oh my gosh, my life, all of these things are happening and I don't know where everything's at. And I'm trying to put things here, I'm trying to put things there, and things are falling through the cracks. This is leaking, whatever. And some intermediator questions for this next S, right, is struggle. So that's why I say, what's your biggest struggle, or what are you currently struggling with, or what made you reach out to me at this current moment? Because obviously I'm a systems person. And So they'll start again to word vomit. And some follow-up questions I'll ask are like, okay, well, like if they feel like everything's a mess, right? Some people just come to you and are like, it's all a mess. I don't even know. So when that happens, then I'll be like, okay, well, just tell me what feels really slow, or what feels missing, or where do you think the gaps are, or what feels like it's leaking leads, or any of those sorts of things. So what feels slow, messy, broken, or drives you nuts? Some of those sorts of things, and people will totally open up and have all the things to say about that, because that just helps trigger them and remind them of the struggle that they're currently in. Then once you go from struggle, then you want to be a sponge. That's the third S. This is where, they're talking about their struggle, and you're like, gosh, that sounds absolutely crazy. I totally know what that feels like. I have clients XYZ that I've worked with that have had very similar solutions, but I know that that's not the reason that you're in business. Like, tell me about where you see your business going. Like, what is the vision? Like, what do you see like happening in your business in 1, 3, 5 years? Like, I want to know how dope your business is going to be once we get this stuff figured out. Just going off into the vision land, the fun land of what's possible. Talk. Okay. I don't do a lot of talking on my sales calls until the very end. This is the part where you are a sponge. You understand what is important to them. If it is important that they go on vacation and don't have to bring their laptop, it's important that they pick up their child from school at 3 o'clock every day. It's important that they can go into a caravan for 2 months and ride, across country of America. Whatever the thing is, you'll start to hear what their vision is, not even just for their business, but for their life. And you want to be very familiar with them as a person for these next portions. So we've covered similarity, struggle, and sponge. This next part is very simple, so don't overthink it. All right, this is the suggestion. So at this point, I haven't told them anything about how I work with people. So I'll say something to the lines of, oh my gosh, that sounds so amazing, and I totally want that for you. Can I actually invite you to hear about how I work with clients? And the specific word you can kind of, pinpoint is invite. You don't want to feel like, okay, here's how I work with people. The sole fact of you inviting them into that conversation helps go from here, because they feel like, oh my gosh, she's going to attack me with madness, to oh, yes, I'm inviting you to talk to me about this because I'm interested. I've had 0 people say no. And if someone does say no, then you get off the call and you bless and release and move on with your life. So I say, can I invite you into telling you about how I work with clients? You can use that line. You can use a mixture of whatever feels good to you. So again, that is literally the suggestion part. And then after that, they say yes. And here's what I say. And I'm going to go into a few things, like price anchoring. So I've always had 2 offerings. One was a VIP weekend. The other was an intensive. So for me, I switched up how I talked about them depending on where I wanted to steer them in the conversation. So if somebody comes to me with a very specific area, or process, then I know I'm going to gear them towards the intensive. If they are talking about their whole business being a mess, I know I'm going to gear them toward the VIP weekend. So from there, say Susie Q has a specific process that she wants me to help her with, client management. And so I'm like, okay, so there are 2 weeks that I work with people. I have the VIP weekend where you come down to Dallas. It's 2.5 days, and we just take a look at everything under the hood and make sure that we know what's going on with this and this and this and this. And I also have another way that I work with people that I think might actually fit your needs better. And that is an intensive, which is just 4 hours, virtual, you and me. We sit down and we knock client management process out, which means I listened to her and heard her problems. And she had talked about how managing her clients was total hell. And I inserted that into my intensive. So I don't talk about client management in the higher price VIP weekend, but I talk about it in the actual intensive. So she is hearing validation that this intensive is actually for her. And I say, we can just like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We'll come in, we'll have about 45 minutes of prep before that. That's a questionnaire that makes the 4-hour call go really smoothly. And by the end of the call, your client management process is one and done, good to go. And then I say, which one of those sounds good to you? And then she's going to, take a moment, and then she'll say, I think the intensive is what feels really good to me. I say, awesome. And I then say, all right, so you're probably wondering how much these cost. So the VIP weekend is whatever, $5,000, $5,500, whatever, depending on if I travel. And you get, again, come to Dallas, and I go through my whole spiel about VIP weekends again. And then I say, in the intensive is only $3,000, and I use the word only, is only $3,000, and you get 4 hours of my time plus 1 month of Slack support afterwards. And again, really the Slack support, 90% of my clients don't even use, because at the end of the call, the client management process is done. It's my guarantee that that's happened. So then I say, is there any other questions that you have about this particular, at this particular time? And this is where objections come up. They are not scary. They are not meant to frighten me away. They are not to throw me off my game, because honestly, I'm a big question asker. I want to know all the things. I want to understand what it is that I'm purchasing. So I am very clear that I am open to questions. I'm not scared of their questions. And they'll say, well, that seems like a lot of money, which is rare. But that seems like a lot of money. I don't really know. Do you have payment plans? I do. Glad you asked. So for the intensive, I have a 1, 2, and 3 pay plan option. You can either pay 1 payment of $3,000, 2 payments of $1,500, or 3 payments of $1,000. If you choose the 1 or 2 pay, all of that obviously is before our call. If you choose the 3 pay, then I will need 2 payments up front, and the last payment you can do after the call. And then they'll be like, okay, well, can you really do this in 4 hours, or can you do this in whatever? And I let them know, like, yes, you are a wedding planner, and, I have worked with other wedding planners, and I've worked with them on these types of services and set them up in a client management software, and using just different examples. And then she'll probably say, let me talk to my husband. Okay, that's totally fine. Let's set up a follow-up call. Today's Tuesday. I'll set up a follow-up call for Friday. What time works for you? And then she says, 2:00. Great. I will see you on Friday. And remember, here are the things that you're getting. If you want me to send you an email with just like a bulleted list of what you'll get out of it, then I absolutely can do that. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, cool. See you on Friday. It'll just be a quick 15-minute chat to see if this is the right fit for you. Then so going back, so if I'm actually gearing them toward a VIP weekend, this is how I would price anchor this, and then I'll go into what price anchoring is. So say she's told me everything's a mess, I need help with everything. So I will say, okay, that's fine. Can I invite you into hearing about how I work with clients? She says yes. Great. So there are 2 ways that I work with people. The first way is an intensive. It's a short burst, like wham, bam, just one process, in and out, like super quick. And the second offering or way I work with somebody, I think is a little bit more of what you're going to need. It is a holistic, all-encompassing look at every part of your business, like your client management, like your team management, like your content management, like your XYZ 1, 2, 3, whatever the heck she said before. This is why you have to be a sponge and listen to their struggle. Is I'm using that information and literally repeating it back to them in this particular moment. So I'll say, client management, content management, team management. But it's really cool because we get to come to Dallas and I put you up in a hotel, a super swanky hotel. It's like 1920s fabulous. We get to eat really well at all my favorite restaurants. And again, if I've done my homework, I see that they're a vegan. I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, this is an awesome vegan spot that I'm really excited to take you to. And then at the end of that, I have another month of Slack support to where, again, if after our time together you feel like, you need to tweak this or tweak that or whatever, then we can do that. I said, which one sounds best for you? She goes, I definitely want you to just take care of everything. Like, I just want it all to be taken care of. Great. So that sounds like the VIP weekend. And so you probably are wondering how much it costs. So again, the first way of working with people, which again we discussed is not what you want to do, is $3,000. But what the VIP weekend is, it's only $5,500 if I'm traveling, or it's $5,000 if you get to come here to Dallas. And again, that covers everything except for your flight. So that's hotel, that's food, that's our time together, that's 1 month of Slack support. And again, I roll through all the different systems that we'll go through. If you want to bring a team member, it's X amount extra for them to come for hotel and food. And then we can work together. And then I say, are you ready to make the first step? Or are you, what are your questions about the process? Again, they'll go through the objections. And again, the last part of it, if they are not going to do a follow-up call, is serve. That is the last S. So we have similarity, struggle, sponge, suggestion, and serve. So then serve is actually asking for the sale. This is where you say, are you ready to make the first step of giving me your credit card information, your billing address, all of that good stuff so I can get you processed and on your way? Whatever it is. I take credit cards over the phone. If somebody feels uncomfortable with that, which is less likely than most, then I actually will say, no problem. Actually, while we're on the Zoom call, I'm going to send you a link, systemsaving.com/payment, whatever the link is. That's going to give you to a Thrive card. Just go ahead and enter your details right now. I want to make sure that we can hold your spot because, again, I am booked out about 1 to 2 months in advance. So if you have a particular weekend that works for you, I want to make sure that you're able to get that before we get off the call today because again, I get on calls with people all the time. So who knows if somebody else is going to want that weekend or that slot or whatever. So again, serving. Are you ready to make the first step of blank? If you feel uncomfortable taking credit card over the phone and they just see me, I'm just typing into Stripe, I see it go through, and then I say, awesome, you're all set. And again, when I get off the phone, you're literally going to, or Zoom or whatever, then you're going to get your contract, then you'll get your intake form, which will take about 45 minutes, and then you'll get Google invites, you'll get all the details you'll need to know, and just send me your flight information. And again, I'm just going through all of the things. And that's pretty much the sales call, and just say, I'm so freaking stoked to work with you, and I can't wait to get my hands dirty, I can't wait to get my fingers in there, whatever your languaging is. And they'll be like, awesome, I'm so excited, because here's the thing. Why, when you get off the call, people ghost you, people don't follow through, is because you don't have them take any sort of step on that call. Whether the step is sign a contract, I would rather you take the credit card information, but contract or credit card information needs to happen on the call, because otherwise people are going to ghost, because exactly what happens after the call is people freak out. People freak out whether they put a payment down or not. And so if they are freaked out that they gave a payment or solidified the working relationship, then I can fix that. I can say, listen, I'm here. I know you just put down a bunch of money. I am here for you. And again, I actually send a really cute gift. So hold on, let me actually get, excuse me, bub. Get one of my gift boxes. I wasn't planning on showing you guys this, so here we are. I worked with a gifting company called Bonjour boxes, and it's super cute. Ta-da! So you can kind of see it. There's some taffy and pineapple stuff. It smells really delicious. It's not like pineapples. And I would send that off immediately after I got off the call because I wanted it in there in 2 to 3 business days. So what was important to me is that everybody felt like I was putting down just as much an investment as they were. And so giving them a box or giving them a way that lets them know that I'm excited to work with them. And again, you guys don't have to do, like, this box was like $150 a person, I think. But you guys don't have to do that big of one, even if it's something small like a postcard, or like, I would like it to be more personal than a Starbucks gift card if possible. But whatever you can make it happen, because your experience is so important. Because again, whether they put the money down or not, they're freaking out once they get off the call. They're freaking out. And so it's important that you get them a gift, or it's important that, again, if you haven't gotten a payment or a contract, they're freaking out and they're never going to talk to you again. Legitimately, because they haven't put any stake in the game. They haven't done any of that stuff. So, and it's important if you watch then the Colby bonus of sales. It's important that you watch that because you'll understand each Colby, I guess, pillar will explain to you how you should talk to people throughout the sales call process. So again, it is so crucial, and I know you're like, Jordan, I don't want to ask for the credit card, or I don't want to do any of this stuff. Then fine. Keep dealing with people ghosting you. Keep dealing with chasing after people. Keep dealing with leads just flying out the window. You have to be grounded and excited and like full of what it is that you want to bring to the world, and you got to stand up for yourself because no one else is going to go to bat for you. And that was something that I had to learn. And so I just have got thicker skin, I guess, at this point. So again, I'm going to go through the 5 S's of the feel good sales sequence. Similarity. So find what you and your potential client have in common. Then struggle. So what is their biggest struggle? Sponge, what's their vision? Listen. That's all you need to do. Suggestion, so invite them into having a conversation about your services. And then serve is the last one. So how do you make them excited and ready to make the first step? So those are the 5 S's. If you have any questions about this, totally ask them in the group, in the community, and we'll go from there. And again, I suggest after this one, go and watch the Colby sales little bonus video, because it'll help you recognize what type of person you're talking to on the other side of the phone or Zoom, which will make your sales call be a lot more likely to go well. So hope you enjoyed this sales video. Again, I wanted to keep it under 30 minutes so you could just get a quick dose of sales training, and now you can go off and be great on your sales calls.